We've just been talking about how cold we are.
It's built for this, man.
Nah, you guys are built for this. I'm not built for this.
This season, man.
In Nigeria, we used to have temperatures of like 40 degrees almost all year round. No, that was too
Was
hot.
it Celsius or Fahrenheit there?
We used to use Celsius, yeah.
Oh, 40 degrees Celsius?
30, 40, almost all year round.
It's like walking
Very
on the sun.
humid. It's terrible. But
Not a good time.
yeah. That's why I've also never gotten sunburned before. So,
All right.
yeah, so this winter is not, I'm not built for this. Welcome to another episode of Modify with Trick Factory Customs. If this is your first time watching, my name is Elvis.
Tim?
I'm Rob.
Awesome. And we are a custom automotive shop located here in British Columbia, Canada. Hence why I'm wearing a winter jacket, because it's extremely cold. And it feels like we skipped the whole of fall, but
Yeah.
it's fine. I just went to winter. But in this podcast, we talk about a lot of things to do with car modifications. In this episode, though, we are going to be talking about, I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. What is the title of this episode, Tim?
How to turn your car into a box in 5 easy steps.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we dive into that topic of conversation, if this is your first time watching, give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to it on podcast or Apple Podcast, give it a 5-star so we can move up in the charts and more people can listen to the awesome things that we talk about.
Yeah, we're big in South Africa.
I know.
Thanks
about that.
Thanks, you guys out there.
Yeah, we were like, what, top 6 or
We love you.
something?
Like number 4.
Oh,
in South
shoot.
Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yes, our South African audience. Thank you for watching. So, yeah, with that said, we're just going to get started. What have you guys been working on this week?
Oh, me mostly pre-staging upcoming products or projects, and getting parts organized and getting a plan put together, and then still processing the Corvettes.
Yeah.
That's been a big job, cleaning up and getting all that placed and putting a plan together for that. So
Nice.
yeah, I've just been in front of a computer all week.
Oh, wow. So, like, what do you have to do? Because I don't know if anyone is buying it from us or what's the plan. Yeah.
For the Corvettes, we're still figuring all that out, but mostly right now it's just getting an understanding of what we actually have and what we're working with. And then as far as shop projects, it's like we're about to jump off a bunch of big ones. So just going back and forth with customers, getting that figured out and sort of getting the core parts together, because we got to get renders created. So we got to sort of narrow down what we're doing, like actual, renders.
Ooh.
So
Fancy.
For any specific projects right now that we're doing renders
the
for?
G-Wagon project, we're doing a render for
So
sure.
what is happening to the G-Wagon?
Doing an EV swap on it, suspension, interior, the whole sort of thing. And that's a 2-door cabriolet, so it's pretty unique with a power top.
That's already rare. And so
Yeah, it's already super cool.
Yeah. It's a pretty big deal project.
yeah, that'll be
So
awesome.
that one's, just getting all the stuff together for that. So
Yeah,
Sweet.
so you have another meeting with the client for that.
early next
we'll
week,
lock
so-
that
Nice.
down, and then we'll be looking for renderings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be sick.
that's pretty cool.
that part's fun because it's, when everybody in the shop will get to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
I already have a pretty good idea already, but it's now getting it turned into an actual proper render, then we can all get on the same page.
And you mentioned Corvettes. In case you've not seen it, we happened upon 2 barn find Corvettes.
Yeah.
They haven't been driven in 30 years or something.
Potentially.
Yeah. And so if you haven't watched it, you can click off and watch it right now. But in the episodes, it goes into more detail as how they even happened, how we came across them.
When I say processing that, it came with 3 full-size Chev van loads of parts. So like putting all that together and just kind of finding out what we got has been the whole
been a
adventure
lot.
in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really exciting to get involved, and even just discovering what we had acquired.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work. Like Tim said, 3 full van loads full of parts.
A lot of stuff. 5 engine
we're
blocks.
talking like 5, 6 complete engines,
Oh my God.
all broken down. So you can just imagine, like, we were all busting hump, loading that. That was a really intense several days of hard labor.
Wow.
So but I mean, it's discovering that kind of stuff was super, super exciting. And, you got fired up for it. So
Pretty awesome.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Just what we needed is more junk.
I know, right?
I mean, we're running out of room already, but we just we make space for it.
And we also picked up
was
the
awesome.
Evo engine as well.
Yep.
That's
for
right.
The Mercedes.
The Irish build. So
Yeah,
the
M113.
M113 compressor motor. So that's starting to come together, and we hope to start getting a lot more 190 content because everybody seems to want it.
I know,
really
everyone
bad,
loves
so-
that stuff.
Yeah, well, it's super cool, and we're all really excited about those projects too. So
Yeah.
we're all chomping at the bit to get involved in that a little bit deeper. So
And what have you been working on, Rob?
I've been still on the Skylark, mostly Skylark this week, but then I did take a little bit of a break from that, and it helped both Brett and Spencer with the Lambo project a little bit. We did some pretty radical reworking, and
Very radical.
that was pretty cool. So I got to take part in that. That was pretty cool.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, back on the Skylark again.
Awesome. Yeah.
Gonna
the
keep going
floors
for a while.
Floors look glorious.
But yeah, thank you. I'm pretty proud of them, and I think it kind of just sets the stage for where we're going from this point moving forward on that project. So pretty excited about it.
Awesome.
I don't think I'll be working on the Skylark next week. We're talking about shifting gears just a
Paint
touch.
Oh,
Yeah.
setting
Shop
up the
mods.
paint booth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shop mods next week. So
Yeah.
gonna start gearing up for that. So complete redesign, rework of the whole shop. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. So, with that said, let us get started.
Okay. This one sounds like it's gonna be fun.
Yes, I think it's going to be fun. In this episode, like we mentioned earlier, we're talking about how to turn your car into
Box.
exactly. I'm just gonna
I'll say it
censor
for
it. I'm just. I'm like, okay. The first one I think mostly agreed on was stance boys, or excessive camber, stretching of tires. And if you know anything about the stance life, there's a lot of things. I'll try to put some pictures up. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you can log in and see it. But if you've not heard about the stance community, it is
Community?
I think so. Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably safe to say.
Yeah. And so what usually they do is there's a lot of different things that go into it. And so we're just gonna dive into some of that stuff. And so when you hear of like the stance, what comes into your head, Tim?
So stupid.
Just straight to the point.
I'll say it depends.
Depends on what.
It depends on some
Yeah.
things.
I think there's a lot of room for debate here.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually one interesting thing about this
Okay,
stance.
so we
life
have to
is,
define stance
Yes.
then.
Yes. What is a stance, Tim? If you could
To
define
me,
it. Yeah.
It's like over cambered wheels
Mm-hmm.
where you're driving around on an inch of tire, but paying for a 275 and driving around on 2 inches of it. Mm-hmm. That's stance to me. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how you could do that well.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I
Rob-
just recently saw an image online of the underside of a stanced car, and all the way from the header collectors all the way back to the back of the car. It's like the exhaust tubing was cut in half. It was a half moon of exhaust. It had been dragging on the ground for so long. There was nothing left from it. I mean, like, how long do you got
That's
to drive your
rough.
car listening to that kind of exhaust leak? To even have it look like that.
That's
and
true.
that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is not cool. It's not acceptable.
So if you don't know what camber is the amount of degree that your tire has pushing in, not in. Yeah, we say in
Yeah,
or
like
out.
the top
like
side of your
this.
wheel pushing towards
Yeah.
the center of your vehicle.
Yeah, and so sometimes it's like
Negative
camber
camber.
is good. You have to have some camber.
Depending on what the situation is.
Yes.
If you're daily driving your car, you probably don't want a ton of it. But
No,
if you're
but some
tracking
of
your
it.
car and you have different situations, that's why you have camber adjustments.
Yeah, like the
meet those
drifty
different
boys.
needs.
The guys that go drifting, I know they mess with camber a lot. Camber, toe, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of this and the wheels.
purpose built, right?
Yeah.
It serves a function.
Yeah.
You know, just like any kind of like a grip build, a grip guard, like, you know,
But
circuit car.
if you are not using your car for all of that stuff, there's a lot of bad things that go into what camber can do. It's insane. Like if you look under a lot of these stance cars, you would see the edge of the tire is completely worn.
Sidewall.
Yeah.
There's no point in even having tires on it.
And the rest of the car is just brand new. Like the rest of the tire is just brand new.
Driving around on the sidewall.
Yeah. So it's, I don't understand that part. And then what else does it decrease? So tire wear, the wear on like bearings and all of that, no?
Well, potentially, because you're side loading your bearings.
Yeah,
in a way
exactly.
that they weren't designed to be.
Yeah.
So it's going to wear that out fast, but mostly just the tires, and your handling is going to be absolutely brutal.
Oh, I didn't even think. Yes, the handling is terrible.
Yeah, like you're driving around on what equates to like bicycle tires.
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
I remember when I first bought my I had an 2004 Infiniti G35 coupe. And I bought it used, and it came with aftermarket wheels, really nice. It was done, and it was lowered on like Sprint springs or whatever it was, so it was sitting nice and low. But the negative camber in the rear was so excessive, and I believe the tire size I had on it was like a 275 in the back, so a nice meaty
boy,
nice meaty chonky tire. You're like, oh yeah, that's sick. It looked really good, but it had like, you know, probably a couple of extra negative degrees of camber in the back, and so it was riding on tire about, you know, 1.5 inches or 2 inches wide. And I remember when I first got the car, I thought this thing was just a freaking missile, man. Like I could like from a stop, I could mat it and it would just light the tires up. I thought this thing was like,
oh gosh,
like just like a beast, man. I was like, this thing's sick. And then I was like, this is ridiculous. I had to replace that set of tires like, you know, within like the first couple of months. And I was like, this can't be happening. I can't be doing this. This is ridiculous. So I bought the proper, camber arms, toe arms, and all the stuff to adjust it back to a reasonable amount of camber. And then I go and, you know, get a nice chunky, you know, contact patch on the ground and hit the gas, and my car felt like a dog. I was like, oh, great. Great.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, because that's one of the things. I have a Datsun 280ZX, and it has camber, but it wasn't. I didn't do the camber myself. It's a non-voluntary camber.
Oh yeah, because you put coilovers in your vehicle.
Yes, I put coilovers. It was a lot higher before, but the coilovers kind of like just messed up my camber.
Right.
All of that stuff, my wheel alignment in general. And so now in the backs, but it doesn't have any camber adjustment. So some cars...
So he's the stance boy.
I refuse. No.
Input the picture?
No. I don't know if you can call it stance, because my wheels are so meaty. And it's like, they're like 60 aspect ratio, like the sidewall.
Elvis.
But
no.
I know, denial.
You can talk your way around it all you want. Your car is stance boy in the back, boy.
I'm an involuntary stance boy.
He's rolling on this much contact patch.
No, it's funny because
we make
now
fun of him about it every day.
My tire, and that's how I actually know it, because you look under it and you can just see the freaking wear is just terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like the rest of the tire is just brand new.
And those ones hurt when you got to throw them away.
It sucks. It sucks. And they're expensive.
It's like almost a brand new tire, but it's just dead.
Yeah. And so we plan to fix that in the future.
That's right.
Because it didn't, again, the Datsun didn't come with adjustable camber in the rear, at least. And so
it's got that.
I don't know why they would do that.
We got a weird trailing arm suspension, like an E30 kind of does in the rear.
6-inch wide tire.
Yeah, that's true. I think it had like 175 tires on it.
Now you got what, like a
285.
285.
Oof, yeah, it's terrible.
So we're gonna deal with that, Elvis, because we can't have you rolling around like that.
Yes, and so that's one thing. And another thing that's common with having like that camber is a lot of the guys also decide to run like no springs or something.
Rigid suspension.
Oh yeah, really?
Rigid
that's
suspension.
Right. Like take this shocks right out.
Just take it out
and just run like a rigid rod to connect it.
And I'm like, how does that even feel inside the car? Because I knew a guy actually that did that.
Glorious.
I'm not glorious. I knew a guy that did that, or he was like an advocate for stance boy.
Yeah.
And like, no, he just had the rod thing, and he had a Miata, but he like slammed it almost to the floor, and he scraped everywhere, like train tracks, every like if
Yeah, but
Piece
that's
of
part
gravel
whole
on the
thing.
highway.
I'm like, how is that comfortable?
Yeah.
So
It's not.
so that blows my mind. So that's like one of the things that I'm gonna say. Oh, it's not cool.
There's another thing about like this excessive camber and like, you know, full on stretched out tires and things. Like the one thing that I can't stand, and this is kind of this is how to turn your car into a shit box, is like when you get those like excessively wide tire or wheels.
Oh,
And then they have like, you know, let's say, imagine like a 10-inch wide wheel with like a 205 wide tire on it. It's like so undersized for what the wheel width is requiring for a proper fitment. And like it almost looks as if the tire bead is seated within like the drop center of the wheel. And you're like, how does that even work? and like,
I don't think it does work. It's only good for rolling in and out of shows.
yeah. Wouldn't you like debead and stuff?
Yeah, you debeat all the time. Like, you
yeah,
roll
you know,
bead constantly.
because I don't know
Even
anybody
stretch
that
tires are a
rolls like
problem.
that, but I would just assume like you're blowing tires probably all the
I
time.
like a certain amount of stretch.
I would have to imagine.
in my tires, like a certain amount,
little tiny
of
bit.
stretch, not like too much, because I think for me at least on some cars it works with the aesthetic of the car.
Right.
Um,
and it's necessary to have some sort of stretch if you go really aggressive fitment on your wheels, because then your wheel face is way out there, but you need that tire to roll in, stretch in just a little bit so you get clearance to your inner fender and all that. I mean, it's necessary in some cases, but
Still not ideal. But some of them, it's too much.
Yeah. For me, there's a certain extent that you can go.
If you got to get 4 guys to push you out of a parking lot,
That is excessive.
that's pointless.
That is
it just
very
doesn't even
pointless.
Make any sense.
Yep, like you see them, they're like trying to go into a parking lot and they just get stuck on the middle. Look, it just
Now it's transitioned, like they got to get a run at it and
Yep.
see how hard they can.
like a
Yeah.
beached whale.
Yeah.
That is
I mean, if
interesting.
that's your thing, you do
go
you.
for it. But the next tutorial or the next point that we want to make of like how to turn your car.
How to turn your car into a shit
Yes.
box.
Straight pipes.
Get
And
yourself a
straight
nice
pipes.
4-cylinder automatic
Yeah.
and straight pipe it.
Yeah. So if you want to go, you know, pure shit box, definitely automatic trans
And it has to be straight pipe.
with a
Okay.
straight
Oversized,
pipe
though.
exhaust.
Like you
Okay.
got to make sure it's like something good, like 2.5, 3 inch.
Oof.
So it's super obnoxious.
So
Okay.
you're- yeah, we're talking like 1.6 liter, you know, NA automatic trans.
Nice. That is awesome.
3-inch tubing.
Oh, it
exhaust
sounds so
all the way
bad.
back.
Just, sounds so
just
bad.
pure chaos.
Yeah. Because it's like we were talking about this earlier, and I agree with you guys' point again to a certain extent because I think it depends on what car that is straight piped.
Right, because I mean, this is pretty debatable, right?
Yes,
I mean,
because
you had an example of a car that you're like,
like for
that's pretty
example,
awesome.
a straight piped Lamborghini Aventador with
Yeah.
the screaming V12. Oh,
See, that makes some sense though.
yeah.
yeah,
But even it, I think it would get to be a little bit much after a while. But nothing sounds like a straight piped VTEC. Nothing does. It's
Straight
the
piped VTEC
Yeah, Honda VTEC with a straight pipe. You can hear that thing
coming
and
from
the worst
5
thing
miles
is that
away.
If you heard a straight pipe Lamborghini, it's gonna come and go
Oh yeah.
in an instant.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, wow.
yeah,
But the problem with the Honda is you gotta listen to that
Linger.
box come
Linger.
for 5 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, oh my god, just go away.
It sounds so
Whereas
bad.
the Lambo, it's just be like, boom.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
That was awesome.
That's like music, not
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
Also G35.
The G35, the
Oof.
VQ35
VQ
engine,
engines.
definitely
Oh.
not good
I think
straight
that's the
pipe.
first mod on every G series car.
think so,
is
too.
straight pipe.
Yeah.
Yep. I also guess this also plays into part of like age as well, because the younger you are, the more susceptible you are to
Obnoxious. I think
exactly.
I'm trying to say.
Huh?
The more obnoxious you are, or attempt to be.
Yeah, attempt to be. Yes, because yeah, I feel like I have done very similar things in the past. So even recently,
Well, I think we can all say we've done
Yeah.
similar silly things. At
yeah,
some
it was
point.
interesting because recently, or I was like, "Ooh, it might sound great." I have a V8 Genesis, and I was like, "It sound great without the cats." And I took it off, and it sounded great for about maybe 5 minutes. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
And I was like, the drone was it just never ended. And maybe it was also because I just removed the pipe without taking it all the way back. But it just...
When we did the muffler delete,
Yes, the muffler
just to try to check it out.
Yeah.
It sounded nice, man.
Ish.
It was nice.
It was nice for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but I think you might be right, though. It just needed to have the exhaust pushed.
Routed.
We needed a proper...
Maybe that might have been the thing.
That would have been it.
But I was like, I can't... Like, my wife was also mad at me. That was the primary reason why I did it. Like, put it off. But it was not super fun. Because I also did it earlier with... When I disconnected the cats as well. So I tried it multiple ways. And it was just too loud. So that's another one.
Yeah.
So it depends on the car. If you want to turn your car into a box, then just get a Honda or an Infiniti or a 4-cylinder.
Yeah. 4-cylinder of any kind.
Take out everything and just straight pipe, no resonator, no muffler, and you can do it. Easy peasy.
Yeah, piece of cake. Low cost modification.
I know, $0. It's free.
Just hit up your local muffler fabrication specialist shop. Like here we got like Muffler Man and stuff like that.
Yeah, just
get them to bend you up a quick straight pipe.
Easy peasy. Yeah. And then the next point is weight reduction.
Weight reduction.
I think this is one of Tim's favorites.
Yes. So talk about this topic a little bit, Tim.
Okay, my feelings on weight reduction is it should probably be, you got to get your car to a certain point to where weight reduction is going to be a benefit.
Okay.
But cruising around, sitting around in daily traffic is not one of those reasons.
Yeah, with like 160 horsepower.
Yeah,
and like,
you got to stock whatever Honda Civic. You've done almost no mods other than the straight pipe mod, of course.
Yeah, of course you have
That's
to do
like
that.
the first
and if
one.
you've cut the coils and you got a stance the way you want. Now, the next thing, the obvious thing is to make it go faster for $0.
Yeah.
This should be a $0 car build podcast
I
instead.
really think so.
If you want your car to go faster for $0, you got to take weight out.
Okay.
So you're going to want to take the back seat out, the headliner, door cards, any kind of sound insulation, because that's just wasted horsepower.
Yeah. Airbags.
I mean, just think of those performance gains.
I know.
Right?
Stick out the rear seats.
This whole stance boy thing is starting to make sense to me now.
Man, I don't know.
It's like building a custom car with no money.
It's affordable.
It's starting to come together. I'm starting to process it. I get what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Man,
very true.
Has our formula been wrong the whole time?
I
know. Wow. We just had an epiphany. We just realized it.
Ding, light bulb moment.
We're learning as we go. That's amazing.
Dude.
Okay, well, I got nothing negative to say now.
I know.
I'm going to pull the interior out of my car.
Yeah, no. So, I don't know where to stand on this one because some people just want the aesthetic look of the race car.
A gutted interior?
Yeah, like I feel like that appeal is there of a gutted interior. Like it just looks
You got to be pretty
aggressive.
Special, I think. That's,
I think like the same thing with like
I'd
putting
agree to
roll
a
cage,
certain
like
extent.
a roll cage in a car. Like there's just a certain aesthetic that it gives the car that I think people might want or might love.
Yeah.
And so regardless of how uncomfortable it makes them.
No.
I've always appreciated like the German automakers' approach to it is keep the interior but add more power.
Oh, just more power. I feel like that's the American approach.
That sounds very American.
Yeah. Yeah.
More power, baby.
Add 100 horsepower, but I guess you can go the other way. It seems to be popular as well.
Because I think there's a cool aesthetic in just turning up with a car that's gutted. Even though you don't use it for anything track related, it looks like
but that's one of those things where it's got
it's more pretentious.
Yeah, like if you're gonna show up race car style, like you better have a race car, in my opinion. Like it's.
I would agree. I mean, I think I think this is one of those kind of things where it needs to be justified. It needs to be the right vehicle.
To me, doing weight reduction, having gutted interior is probably on par with getting a neck tattoo before you get any other one.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Start with a neck and back of hand tattoo, and like that's nobody can. You can't show anybody.
What's
the
wrong
rest
with
anyways.
the neck tattoo?
Man, there's stages to this game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Kind of like
You don't just start with a
Oh,
neck
okay. I
tattoo.
don't know.
that's a whole different
Production
topic.
is insane.
It's a whole different topic.
Okay,
Elvis.
it's a whole different podcast.
You've got to be out of things to do to make your car go any faster that you have to start taking material out of it
That's interesting.
before
Okay.
you do take your back seats out. Because you really think the 8 pounds your back seat's going to weigh is going to slow you up that much?
Of course it will. Come on. Every seat you take out is like 50 horsepower.
Oh, it
True.
Yeah,
it
instantly.
literally changes the way your car drives.
Yeah,
like
100%.
it is night and day different.
Yeah. I
If
think
you
the
got the
biggest
interior,
weight savings
man.
is the isolation of your friends because nobody's riding with you anymore.
Exactly.
Well, you see,
So
You
right
don't
away,
have
your whole car
friends.
goes up, your gas mileage goes up.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more
Big
efficient.
gains there.
Yeah.
Big gains.
Nobody's coming in your car with you.
yeah.
No, that's so
'Cause
true.
you got your pipe, no insulation, and no interior.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever driven a car that any of that stuff has been done or all of that stuff has been done? Like
we have
fully
the
gutted
E-
interior?
Yeah,
46
we-
drift car. and
Oh,
it's horrible.
shoot.
We have
It
our
is?
purpose
Yeah.
built
like you're in a
grassroots drift car.
Nice. $0 drift car.
Yeah. So it was E36 coupe, and then what is it? A 2.8 liter doesn't even really matter, but not that powerful of a car. Gut the interior. One of the first things we
All
did.
the insulation
Automatically, the thing felt like a race car.
Oh, that's awesome
Race
though.
car. Well, I think we took like 500 pounds out of it.
Oh my gosh.
But you can hear every pebble bounce off
yeah.
the floor pan.
It is
The glass is rattling in the
Oh,
doors.
no.
You can hear
it's super
everything.
tinny sounding,
Yeah.
like any little noise is dong,
gosh.
dong, dong.
The only
Yeah.
model
But-
we didn't do was straight
Race
pipe.
car.
Oh, you didn't do a straight
No,
pipe.
no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now after having this discussion, that's
Send
the
it.
first thing I'm gonna do.
Send it. It's $0 and you
Yeah.
gain more sounds.
Yeah, but I don't think the performance gains there. So
Yeah, I don't think there's much benefit.
No,
Yeah.
there's no restriction in the like headers and
yeah.
not mufflers. Yeah. No.
No, I subscribe to the
I think
more
we just
power,
blew the guts out
more
of the
power
motor,
thing
so
instead.
probably are.
Oh, it's just straight through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
okay.
there you go. See, that's a purpose-built car for a specific reason. That's not a street car. You would never
wouldn't
drive
drive
that on the street. It'd be friggin' horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, you do get those vibes when you look inside and you see a fully gutted car.
Exactly.
You're like,
Race
ah,
car.
yeah, buddy, this
Yeah.
looks sick.
It looks freaking sick.
Let's go and smoke the tires and
Exactly.
do
Some
stupid
lady in her
things.
minivan will smoke you.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit in
That's so
Starbucks
true.
and you're beside her like, "Brr, brr," and
Oh,
she's
my
looking at you
gosh.
like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Where's he going? You're still like doing 60 kilometers an hour.
Oh my gosh. Whew. Another point that I was gonna also bring up was misplaced arrow.
Misplaced arrow.
Yeah, and
you see this quite a bit.
could you define that, Rob? Because I think you brought up this topic.
I think what that defines as is a misplaced or misused arrow. Like say, for example, you got a stock Honda Accord, you know, rolling stock wheels, suspension, the whole thing. It's base. It's a family car. You go and throw a huge wing on the back and like you're thinking, oh yeah, race car. This is sick. See, that's misplaced, misused arrow.
Okay.
It's cool, but unless you balance out the front, no. See, it's only not cool because there's many reasons why it's
It
not
actually
cool.
makes your car slower.
It does.
It's a spoiler.
It
It's literally in
does.
the name. Spoiler.
It actually, like, what are you gonna? You're gonna get a little bit more down. You're gonna get downforce in the back that's
It's important to have
unbalanced from the
downforce.
front.
In a front wheel drive 4-cylinder shitbox.
Yeah,
It is important, you said?
Yeah, to have downforce in
Why?
the rear.
yeah.
Oh, I guess
Then it
all
lightens the
the
load on the front.
It makes
all
your
the
car
weight is
feel
in
like
the
you
front.
have
Feels
more
like
power.
More power. 'cause
Like
it's
it's like when you because when you get on it, the front end
it
has
just loads the back.
less
Yeah,
traction,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like you got more power instantly.
Yeah.
Balance it out with the front as well.
Okay.
That's
Giant 2-foot
misplaced.
splitter on the front.
Oof.
Like
I feel
like Bozuzuku style.
That's a topic for
Yeah.
another time.
See,
for
that's
sure.
another-
Yes, another one, which we're gonna discuss, but it's
How
gonna
to
be
turn
on
your car into a box.
yeah. That's another topic. I'm not gonna get into this part.
That might be controversial.
Yeah, I think Bosuzoku deserves its own episode. Honestly,
It's more of an art form.
I
than
think so.
motorsport.
Yes,
For
and
sure.
so we can dive into that in another episode of
Yeah.
like culture, car culture, and all of that stuff. So yeah, I don't completely agree with you guys.
Oh, yeah?
On this one.
Is that right?
Yes, to a certain extent, of course I do, but to some extent, I also don't. For example, have you seen? I mean, it's also a race car, but Chris Forsberg's Ultimaniac.
Yeah, that's a purpose-built race car.
True. But it's a 4-door. That was my point.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, and it has a massive wing in the back. But I guess to your point, you're saying if you don't use any of that stuff, or you just did it for aesthetic reasons, then it's automatically a box.
Yeah, I would not say that the Ultimaniac is anything even remotely close to a box. That car is ridiculous. It's awesome.
On some cars, there's the look.
We're talking like a 86 Honda Accord on chopped springs.
I feel like you're picking on Hondas. You're just picking on Hondas.
Of course I am. Well, okay, I can change it up. It's 86 Nissan Sentra.
Every example has been a Honda. I'm speaking up from the
we
Honda
actually
boys.
really like Hondas.
I'm speaking up from the
I had some great Hondas.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you did. You had some pretty sick Hondas in your time.
Sick Hondas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we all reflect back on those cars nowadays. We're all like, man, I just want to get a cool little Honda, like a EG hatch or something, you know? Anyways, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Do it properly this time. But I don't think I didn't. No, I didn't do any shitbox things when
You didn't.
No,
put
your
a
car
big
was- your
wing
car
on
was
it and
pretty
stuff.
No, I focused mostly on suspension, minor engine mods, but mostly just all suspension stuff.
Yeah, and you had a pretty crazy system, like stereo system in your car at that time too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Remember that cool wing you had on there?
Yeah, I had an Evo style wing on I had a Civic EX 4-door.
You had a wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a big wing.
So boxed it.
No, it wasn't box.
Nah, I'm
It
saying.
was like medium. It was more styling than.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
I don't
Spoiler.
think that was a very functional aero kind of thing.
That was more for an aesthetic.
Yeah. So
And it
exactly.
was color matched.
Ah.
So right away, that puts me outside of shitbox.
You're a
Yeah.
stance boy.
Because my wing was the same color as my car.
Oh, okay. I guess I can see that. Nah, I still don't agree.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
It was bordering there.
Yeah,
You know, it was just kind of like balancing. Is it aesthetic? Is it shitbox?
Yeah, but to a certain extent, I kind of agree, but at the same time, I'm like, it depends on the car, because there are some really cool cars that have massive spoilers that are 4 doors that have no even business even doing any of that track stuff, but they just look cool. But
No, I would agree. I'd agree. You're
Yeah.
right. There are a few examples, but they got to be the right car.
majority of them,
Yeah.
according to
I mean, we're typically like I automatically visualize like very, very inexpensive, probably, cheap,
eBay wing,
cheap
what's that brand?
fake
There's a
carbon kind of.
a brand.
APC?
No, not well. APC is a pretty legit brand.
No. What's the janky eBay wing company?
Oh God.
There's a lot of them.
That's true.
Yeah, but
Pick
that's
any one of
you
those.
automatically start thinking like you see that, and then like they're on like huge, what do you call that? Like the mounting risers off the trunk lid. Like you're talking like this is mounted to the trunk.
It's mounted to the trunk lid. That's another
there's
thing.
an issue in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. If you want a
And they're like-
downforce, make it a chassis mount wing.
Right? Well, at least it'll be functioning somewhat.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that's a whole different thing, and that's misplaced and misused aero.
And then the fifth one, which I think it's an interesting topic, is rolling coal. Coal rolling.
We see that a lot here.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, whenever you see a truck puffing out smoke like it's, I don't know, like it's freaking a factory.
Like, yeah.
It's a chimney.
Yeah.
Then
Just big black column of smoke coming out of your 8-inch tailpipe on a
Metal
big
militia.
big diesel
Yes.
burning
Tailpipe.
Yep.
brodozer,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and so that's a very controversial one too, because a lot of people frown on it, a lot of environmentalists frown on it, and a lot of like governments also frown on it too, because it's illegal in some states, California.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've made it illegal in some states. I don't know, is it illegal in Canada?
I
No?
have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, you haven't really.
Yeah.
You haven't experimented yet.
Nah.
Okay. But yeah, it is. It's people again use it as a form of like anti-environmentalism because I don't know if you guys have seen, but they do that to Teslas. So like whenever they're passing a Tesla, they just
Oh, yeah?
the gas pedal and just roll coal on the Tesla.
That's kind of fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't see the point behind it, but yeah, it's a
Well,
weird one.
Yeah, that is a weird
Because
one, right?
all
I mean,
you're really displaying is how poorly tuned your vehicle
So true.
is.
I mean, that's what you automatically think, like instantly. Like,
Yeah.
man, dial that thing in. Should be.
Because it's just dumping diesel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like pops and bangs tunes.
Oh
Yeah,
that's.
You're,
Definitely falls into that same sort of category, doesn't
I
it?
think so. Yeah.
you're gonna take something that's awesome and tune it like shit just so you can be obnoxious.
You did that.
Oh, I know I did it to be obnoxious.
That's your 458. Yeah.
Yeah.
But right away corrected it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You just noticed and we're like, yeah, this is not.
Cut the fuel mileage in half. Car ran like
Oh
so
no.
right away. It's like we got to get this out of here.
Oh,
It
no.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
at all.
Sounded
so
really dope
interesting.
though when we were at the car show and we just like did a couple of, just pinned it. Just
I am a sucker for pop and bang tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sounds great. Like this car came with it, the Jag F-Type V8.
Oh, really?
Oh, it just sounds like crackles and pops. Like you just 3,000 RPM, let go of the throttle in like second or third gear, and it's just like a gunshot
wow.
party happening. And so I really like that.
Yeah.
But you guys do not like that.
I don't like it.
I don't like it only because it's associated to like a poor tune. Like if it was a
Oh.
natural side effect of performance, I would probably like it a lot more. But because I know that it just means and this is going way back to like my sport bike days.
Yeah.
I used to have a sport bike, I'd downshift and be popping flames, and I just thought I had the baddest ass thing.
Yeah.
And then my very first dyno experience, I put on dyno, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, this thing's running so lean and like, we got to tune it." So we put it in, he
Wow.
fattened it up, and it's like made 9 more horsepower
Oh wow.
out of 100. So that's
Yeah,
sig-
that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
increase. But here I was, young and dumb, ripping around, thought I had the hottest thing on the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
And it
That's so
turns out it
funny.
was like, couldn't be more, like, the worst possible tune.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my association all the way through.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I think because there was an M3 that I drove, E92 M3 that I drove that had a pop and bangs and a flame tune
Oh, wow.
tuned by Gintani. And it was glorious. Oh my gosh. It was so fun.
Just raw fuel coming
Yeah.
off the back.
Well, it was sick. Like in half of the video, I was just giggling because it's just,
Oh, the aesthetic of it is awesome.
yeah.
But the reality of it is
You're just dumping
yeah,
fuel,
you're just
raw
dumping
fuel
in
out.
your
Yeah.
exhaust system.
And so is that bad for the engine?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not good for it. You're supposed to be burning it, so depending on how bad it is, it can cause you all kinds of problems. You wash your rings out. You can do all kinds
Oh,
of things.
shoot. Okay.
Because you're just pumping fuel through your motor,
Yeah.
out your exhaust system.
Yeah. Not the best.
No.
No. So that's definitely one of the ways to turn your car into a shit box.
So I
Hey,
think,
you take a good car and just wash the cylinder walls
poorly
out.
tune it.
you're
you
cleaning
know,
it, washing
yeah.
the cylinder walls
Well,
out.
I don't
Getting cleaner.
think that is
I'm
a
kidding,
good
no.
thing. Sounds like it
Nah.
might be, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you put all 5 of those together, and
You have the perfect
have-
recipe.
you have the perfect recipe for a shit box.
yeah. Yeah. We could go on and on and on about this. I
Yes.
mean, we're just barely scratching the surface.
Yeah, there's so
things.
much. Oh my goodness. And so if you want to hear about that, leave a like and also comment if you have any suggestions as to more stuff that would make it a shit box. Let us know. Write
Yeah.
it down
In
the comment section.
agree or disagree. Let us
yeah,
know.
let us know what you think. If you think we're crazy, if you think
Yeah.
they're crazy.
We might be a little, but
But yeah, with that said, that's pretty much it. If you like this video or if you like this podcast, give it a thumbs up. Again, subscribe to our channel if you haven't.
And a lot more tuning tips.
Yes, we'll probably make a part 2 of this, honestly, because again, there's just so much to talk about, but
More just $0 mods.
there's a lot. Yeah, that's also to an episode. I'm gonna write that down. But yeah,
That's an interesting topic. I think we could go on for that.
yeah. So with that said, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.